Hello, I'm Ellen Goldberg, and welcome to the Language of the Hand. In this segment, we're going to talk about the 7 mounts, or 7 archetypes of the palm. The mount of the hand are the pads of flesh that rise along the map of our life and of our personality. They're different in every hand. These 7 types are named after the 7 planets of the ancients, or perhaps could be after the 7 Roman gods and goddesses of the same name. But I think the planets came first. These mounts show by their development which parts of the brain are really fertile. And by knowing which part of the brain is fertile and strongest, you can tell hundreds of things about a person because traits cluster together in the brain. So once you identify the most prominent types, and we're going to have a segment on that coming up very shortly, you can know so many things about an individual. The 7 mounts, as you can see in this illustration, starting with the index finger, are the mount of Jupiter, right under the index finger, the middle finger, the mount of Saturn, the ring finger, which is called the finger of Apollo and is over the mount of Apollo, which sometimes looks like a double mount. Sometimes it's like 2 little matching fillets right there in the palm. And then the smallest finger, but a very powerful finger, is the pinky, which belongs to Mercury and the mount of Mercury. Across the center of the palm, like a band, all the way across, is the mount of Mars. Let me put in these mounts, but I'm going to use the astrological symbols for them for shorthand, but you can get the names off of the illustration. Jupiter, Saturn, Apollo, and Mercury. The fingers and the mounts under them work together, and their natural line of demarcation is the heart line. The whole center band of the hand belongs to Mars. And even though it has 3 parts, we basically deal with 2. We've got lower Mars, because it's just below the lifeline, and upper Mars, because it's often just above the headline. Then we've got Venus, the whole entire ball of the thumb, the single largest mount in area given to any mount of the hand, because love makes the world go round and the hand makes a lot of room for love. And here in the bottom corner, we have the mount of the moon, the mount of Luna. These personality patterns, which are called archetypal patterns, are patterns that have been with us since the dawn of time. That's why they're called archetypal. Although they were first defined, I believe, by Plato, it was the Swiss psychiatrist and pioneer of work with the unconscious, Carl Jung, who brought this idea of archetypes to modern attention. What it means is that certain patterns and types of people have been present with us in every society in the world from the dawn of time, and whether you're in a primitive tribe or in the most sophisticated urban city, these types show up. The warrior, the priest or priestess, the lover, the intellectual, the trickster, the holy one, the leader. These different types, in variation, are always present. In fact, Jung said the way he defined an archetype was that it is a memory deposit. They are patterns that were repeated so often since the dawn of time that they became a memory deposit in the collective unconscious. That's the deepest part of our mind in which we are connected to all the rest of the world. And so when we are born, they are already within us. And they're in the hand, these 7 archetypes, but in different proportion for everyone. Some people have one archetype that is so strong that you know they are the pure archetype and that all the traits associated with that archetype belong to them. However, most of the time, we're a combination. And as I have said, reading a hand is a little bit the way a good cook reads a recipe book. You know these ingredients, and when you see them together, you get a feeling for how they might be. So it gives you an idea of the personality. What will these archetypes tell us? They're going to tell us about their personalities, their lifestyle, their romantic tendencies, what kind of work they would be good at, do they like family life, what their health concerns are. There is endless amount of information there, and so by identifying the archetype, you can see what kind of life would be the most satisfying for a person.